Our guest, John Grace. He is Investors Advantage Corp founder and president there. And John, I was looking through your notes here. You've talked about a ceiling, especially with the NASDAQ, between 10,300 and 11,000. We're kind of hovering right in between that today. Are we starting to see some of the momentum come out of the market here?
I think that's exactly what we're starting to see, Akiko. And I'm suggesting to people that, no one was prepared for a 35% decline from February 19th through March 23rd. And it happened. And the math is simple. If you're off 30%, you need a 50% gain. From this point, if we hit this high and we do not break through it, it would not surprise me to see a 40% decline from this level moving forward.
A 20% decline. What's going to be the catalyst to get there?
Well, you've got a lot of clouds on the horizon. There's just the markets do not like uncertainty, as we all know, and we've got a wave of bad earnings that we haven't seen yet. We've got mortgage delinquencies for homeowners. Renters are suddenly behind 2-3 months in making their rent payments on time. Highest number of people behind on their car payments 90 days or more. We've got unfathomable size of debt for consumers, corporations, and governments. And then, of course, we've got that trade war that only seems to be exploding right before our very eyes, because now we have COVID to argue with China about. We've got politics to argue with China about. We've got the tech issues, right? A lot of clouds on the horizon. And then, of course, we've got people who are going to be really in bad shape if many people can't get past 30 days with no cash. So a lot of bad news I see on the horizon. And again, it's not a prediction, Akiko, but what I'm saying is let's be prepared for it. This is the time to put your hedging strategies in place, to look to see, if you go into a theater, you look to see where the emergency exits are before you sit down. So this is what we're saying. Don't get complacent and just leave everything the way it was, because this may be Humpty Dumpty falling off that wall.
John, to your point, we are starting to see some of these dominoes fall. You talk about mortgage delinquencies. Yesterday, we saw the unemployment claims, the initial unemployment claims coming down as well. We've had a number of companies announce their layoffs too this week. Are we starting to see some of that economic reality settle into the market? I mean, we've talked so much about this divergence, and we had our guest on earlier who said those economic numbers are not necessarily what investors are looking at right now.
Well, for the most part, investors are looking for earnings, right? As long as there's some earnings somewhere, then we want to see the gains. But a lot of times what we're seeing for the gains is a lot of hyperbole and expectations and optimism, as opposed to seeing the real deal in terms of what's really going on in the economy. And that's why I say if 40% of Americans don't have resources past 30 days. In other words, if they don't have the check they had last month, next month, they could be destitute. Those are high numbers. That's real America, not the 1%ers, which of course are always doing well no matter what the economy might do.
And finally, you mentioned the risk from China. I mean, it seems like we've got mixed message coming from a lot of our guests who say, this is all just rhetoric. This is about the election in November and this administration trying to find a win with their base. How do you view the latest developments? And do you think that investors are maybe overlooking that risk of these two countries going back and forth?
Yeah, we have a capacity for overlooking risk. We actually enjoy wearing our rose-colored glasses and drinking the Kool-Aid that happy days are here again. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. At some point, there is pain. And at some point there is winter, but let's recognize winter can help make things stronger as well as kill things, and spring always follows winter. So if we're more prepared for the possible declines and we've got cash, we can take advantage of those opportunities on the other side. And let me just say real quickly, please, Akiko, that like you were talking with Dr. Martin, we have this week declared we give free financial plans to the frontline workers. They take such good care of us, putting their own lives at peril. So for the doctors, the nurses, the medical profession, the legal, the police departments, fire departments, and retail, we'll spend 90 minutes with you and help you have a financial plan. So at least you have something that you can look at that makes you feel like you can weather this storm as you're helping us weather this storm.
Yeah, certainly well-deserved and a good service especially for those who have been on the front lines. John, always good to talk to you. John Grace is the founder and president at Investors Advantage Corp.